Last Battles is the fourth book in my Jaco Jacinto Age of Sail series, which begins during the American Revolution and will ultimately end with when the eighth book is published during the War of 1812. So in Last Battles, what happens is it's the last 2 years of the American Revolution, which, if you don't know, didn't end with the Battle of Yorktown, which took place in October of 1781, but actually ended when the peace treaty was signed in September 1783, essentially 2 years later. So what happens is that there's a lot of fighting in the southern states, Georgia, South Carolina, North Carolina primarily, although there's some in Virginia, as we're still trying to push the British out. The British evacuate Savannah, they evacuate Charleston, they evacuate Wilmington, North Carolina, but they still hold New York. So most of the fighting ends sometime in late 1782, early 1783, but the British still have forts where they have garrisons, and the Americans want the garrisons moved or withdrawn to ports and actually come out. So this is what the story is about. And in it, Jaco Jacinto has a new mission, which is sailing a fast schooner back and forth across the Atlantic, carrying dispatches and people to the negotiating team in Paris. And along the way, he has some interesting tasking, one of which is to extract one of the negotiators from London who had been held in the Tower of London after being captured. So the war ends, and now peace has broken out. And so what do the families, the Laredos, the Jacintos, and the Smythes do? So one of the interesting things is Emily Smythe decides to emigrate to the United States and no longer live in England. So that story is in there because divorce in England in those days, it was a much more difficult process than it is today. So I hope you enjoy reading the book. It's an interesting tale. It's a little different because it follows the lives of two naval officers, one British, one American, and how their lives now are really coming together.